Hey everyone! Welcome back! Before we dive in, let's take a quick look at the original James Sunderland from Silent Hill 2. These images set the tone for one of the most iconic characters in survival horror. Now, in this video, I'll be showing you my own remake of James, reimagined through my style and artistic vision. It's not about copying the original, but about capturing the essence of the character and giving him a fresh look from my perspective. Let's jump right in. So, let's start with the blocking stage. I'm going to use ZBrush for this part, and I'll begin with a base mesh to quickly set up the overall shape of James. At this stage, I'm not worrying about details. It's more about getting the proportions and silhouette right. I want to see how the character feels in 3D space before I move on. It's always the part where I just play around and experiment, so don't expect anything clean yet. Let's see how this blockout comes together. Now that the blockout is done, I'm moving into the detailing stage. Here I'll start refining the secondary shapes and making the forms feel more natural. It's about cleaning up the structure, smoothing out the rough areas, and slowly pushing the sculpt towards something more believable. After that, I'll add in the finer details, the small touches that bring James to life. This part is where the character really starts to take shape, and it's always exciting to see those details appear step by step. Next, I'm moving on to the clothing. For this part, I'll be using Marvelous Designer to set up the basic garment. Then I'll bring it back into ZBrush for some adjustments. Since only a small portion of the clothes will actually be visible in the final render, I'm not going to spend too much time perfecting every fold. The goal here is just to get a natural look that supports the character without stealing the focus away from his face and overall presence. Now it's time for texturing. I'll be using Substance Painter to work on the colors and make the necessary adjustments. This is where I experiment with different tones to capture the right feeling for James. Along with the color, I'll also set up the other maps like roughness, specular, and a few additional tweaks. These small changes really affect how the surface reacts to light, and they help give the model that extra bit of realism. Next up is the hair. For this part, I'll be using XGen to create the hairstyle. It's always a bit of trial and error, adjusting the guides, testing the density, and making sure the flow feels natural. Since James's look depends a lot on his hair, I want to keep it faithful but still fit with the style of my remake. It takes some patience, but once it comes together, it really adds a lot of life to the character. Finally, I'm bringing everything together in Maya for the final render. This is where all the pieces, the sculpt, the textures, the hair, and the clothing, come together in one scene. I'll set up the lighting and adjust the render settings to get the mood I'm aiming for. It's always the most rewarding step, seeing the character fully assembled and ready for the final shot. And that's my remake of James Sunderland, from my own vision. And that wraps up today's project. I really enjoyed taking you through the whole process, from the early sculpting stages, to refining the details, working on the textures, hair, and finally putting everything together in Maya for the final render. Now I'd love to hear what you think about the design. Do you like the final result? What part stood out to you the most? Your feedback means a lot, because it helps me grow as an artist and also inspires me for future projects. So feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And as you're watching the final render on screen, I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed creating it.